Moving on, our next session for the day is on the topic Creating Business Impact with Industry 10.0. Touted as the driving force of change, industries are embedding intelligence to transform the core of their businesses, enabling smarter, faster, safer, and sustainable manufacturing. This also promises to be cost-effective. This session aims to discuss the new kinds of disruption and opportunities facing the industry today if the new industrial revolution can help businesses thrive in the longer run. Our speaker for this session is Dinesh Ramnathan, CEO and co-founder NextGen Power Systems. Dr. Ramnathan co-founded NextGen Power Systems in 2017. He has profound experience in managing large and complex businesses. He specializes in data communications, semiconductor electronics, product marketing, product management, business evaluation, software, power systems, and renewable energy systems. And chairing the session is Sindhu Gangadhar, Senior Vice President and Managing Director, SAP Labs. Sindhu is among the leading voices in the world of technology today. Sindhu is widely regarded as the technology humanist, a title she earned for her deep-rooted belief in technology and for leveraging tech solutions for the benefit of society at large. Pleasure to have both of you join us this morning, and over to you, Sindhu.
Thank you, Justin, and very warm welcome to all of you to the 14th edition of the NASSCOM ER&D Summit. Like Justin mentioned, we have a very special guest with us, Dinesh Ramnathan. Dinesh, very warm welcome to you and to this fireside chat. We are hoping to learn a lot from you in this conversation on how are you creating business impact with Industry X.0, right? But before we get started, Dinesh, maybe very quickly, right? I think a lot of us on the call have Industry 4.0. And maybe very briefly, if you can already start this off by telling us what's the difference you see between 4.0 and Industry X.0. Do you see the differences, or do you also see some similarities?
I had my microphone muted there for a second. So let me take a few moments to kind of explain at least the way I see the differences and the similarities with what you just asked. So I think there are a lot of similarities in the sense that manufacturing is going to be one of the key things that everybody focuses on in these business trends. The second thing that is going to be different, which a lot of companies focus on, especially companies like us, is going to be trying to understand and getting a much deeper understanding of your customer and the customer requirements. Mm-hmm. The third thing that we also end up doing, and a lot of way businesses are different than they were before, is using artificial intelligence to actually gain a lot of insight into the dynamics in the marketplace. These are key three trends that will actually make a significant difference in how businesses will end up perceiving their customers, the way they end up reacting with the requirements that their customers will bring to their table, and the technology that they will use in order to make sure that their technologies can actually be adopted by their customers in a steady and relatively fast manner.
Thanks, Dinesh. I think that sets the context for my next question, because as you rightly said, right, industries are embedding intelligence to transform the core of their businesses. So we'd love to hear from you, Dinesh. How are you driving the digital transformation agenda at NextGen, and how is this delivering the business value to your customers?
So this is a very important thing. So we've embraced what we call digital transformation inside our company pretty significantly. Mm-hmm. And the way we've embraced digital transformation inside our company is by making sure that we're actually working very, very closely with our customers. And I'll try to explain what I mean by that. We have enriched our web experience for our customers quite dramatically compared to what you would have typically seen any other systems or semiconductor company actually provide on the web. We interact very tightly and closely with our customers. We make sure that our customers are actually being delivered content that they would care about specifically based on feedback that we get from them on material that they actually see on our website and interact with us on the website. In addition to that, we also give them very specific pieces of information which they look through, and based on the interactions that they have with those pieces of information, we collect additional information from our customers on new material that we could potentially supply to them. That leads them closer to the kind of products and the type of products and the variations in our product that they might want to see and work with us on. So this is basically one of the key things that we do from a digital transformation perspective is we use what we would call Web 2.0 to interact with our customers very tightly, very closely, and very non-intrusively. And what I mean by that is we only serve them things that they are interested in looking at and paying a lot more careful attention to. And then that way, that saves time for us. It also saves times for our customers so that they can actually perceive the value that our products are going to bring to them. And that value is presented to them in a format and in a way in which they are typically used to.
Got it. So like you said, Dinesh, that you use Web 2.0 to interact with your customers and really present them only with the information that they are interested in, right? So leading with that, so and when we look at these kind of changes that you're bringing about, be it in the customer experience that you're offering or the business models or the fundamental change in operations, how are you measuring the actual business impact? And I think this is a question that's top of mind for many of us listening in today, no?
Yeah, thanks. So that's actually a very, very good question. So the way we look at it is a standard, simple sales funnel to kind of begin with. So we have leads that we basically look at in terms of what comes to us from interactions that our customers have on our website. These interactions can be because we've been doing other interesting things at either conferences or at events like these, or at trade shows, or we have articles that show up in magazines. Each one of those leads or availability of information to our customers then points to our website. And then from our website, we then look at what the customers are interested in based on the kind of interaction that they had with the content that's available on our website. And from there, we're able to figure out what is it that they would be interested in, and then make sure that we're feeding them that very specific content. In addition to that, each one of our content is actually curated specifically for what we think the customer would potentially be interested in. And therefore, we can then manage what each one of those customers gets from us, and we try to target it as tightly to what the customers would require, which is always dependent on what they end up interacting with on the content, products, the type of products that they're looking for, the features that they want inside these products. And all this is kind of curated on our website. The way we end up measuring, which is the question you asked, is we look at how many leads are getting generated, and then how many of those leads then convert into what we call marketing qualified opportunities that then feed into our sales funnel. Right now, we're very careful in how we actually push these opportunities along our sales funnel. It's basically to make sure that we're providing our customers with what they're really looking for, and then converting those customers into very specific opportunities for our products at those customers.
Thank you. Thanks, Dinesh. Slightly different question given the nature of the business as well. So shifting gears a little bit. So, hydrogen is an essential component of transitioning to a clean energy economy. You also heard the previous speaker talk a lot about sustainable energy. And now, while hydrogen is nothing new, it's just beginning to emerge as a cost-effective and a very efficient commercial fuel cell technology, right? So would love to hear from you, Dinesh, on how are you driving this change at NextGen?
Thanks. That's actually a very, very good question as well. So, and it feeds, directly into some of the things that we end up doing at NextGen. So if you, and I'm now going to abstract things a little bit, so you should bear with me. I'm going to think of how hydrogen gets produced at roughly a 20 or 30,000 foot level. Now, if you go into a little bit more details and go to the 5,000 or 6,000 foot, there's a lot of complexity, more complexity than what I'm going to abstract at this point in time. But otherwise, if I don't abstract it, it won't allow me to answer your questions kind of precisely. So at this 30,000 foot level, the way hydrogen gets made is hydrogen is essentially electrolyzed. Mm-hmm. So electrolyzers consist of two things. They consist of a power supply. And the next thing that they have is something called a PEM stack. The PEM stack is basically what allows you to pass current through water and then produce hydrogen and oxygen break water up into hydrogen and oxygen, which is how you end up collecting hydrogen, and the byproduct turns out to be oxygen in this case. But like I said, before doing the electrolysis through a PEM stack, you actually have a fairly large power supply. So one of the things that we do is we make power supplies. That's what NextGen Power System does. These power systems obviously have to be as efficient as you can get them, so that you can push power in one direction and get hydrogen on the other. Obviously, there are different types of hydrogen. The greener power that you're pushing to generate hydrogen, the greener the hydrogen is. So if you're using, let's say, solar or wind energy to generate hydrogen, then that's called green hydrogen. If you're using hydrocarbons in order to generate power, which allows you to generate hydrogen, then you're creating something called gray hydrogen. So everybody today tries to generate green hydrogen because that's what allows you to kind of offset carbon emissions and make sure that you can actually have green plants, especially fertilizer plants, that actually end up wanting to use hydrogen to create electricity that shows up in their facilities. Now, the other side is also important, which is being able to take hydrogen and run it through a fuel cell and actually produce electricity on the other side. So we participate there too. There also you need a power system that actually does that for you. And the systems that we produce, go into that particular arena as well. So from NextGen Power Systems, today we do not generate or we do not create power systems that go into the electrolyzers. We're creating smaller power systems, but eventually in the next 3 to 5 years, we will actually end up creating or building or assisting people that actually make these large power systems with either the products that we create or the modules that we create, and allow these power systems to be significantly more efficient than they are today. That's one of the key value propositions that NextGen brings to the table. And this is how NextGen will end up participating in what we eventually will consider to be a hydrogen-powered economy.
Thanks, Dinesh. Particularly on what you just mentioned about green hydrogen, right, and offsetting carbon emissions. I'd like to come back to the topic of Industry X.0, and how do you see Industry X.0 being an enabler for sustainable development? Because that's top of mind for pretty much every industry.
Yeah, I think there's two aspects to it, right? So number one is how does energy get created? And then the other part is how does energy get transformed, right? So what we just talked about from a hydrogen perspective is how does energy get created? Then as you move hydrogen along the chain, so once you have hydrogen, then you have to convert hydrogen into some form of energy, which is where energy conversion comes in. And so Industry 2.0 or 4.0 will actually start thinking about how do we actually create more sustainable forms of energy, store these sustainable forms of energy, and then convert the energy from one form to another in the highest possible efficiency. And this is where NextGen Power Systems comes in, which is we are in the middle of all energy conversion cycles. And it is our goal and our intent to actually improve the conversion efficiency of energy from one form to another. So whether it's AC to DC, DC to DC, or DC to AC, our power systems play there, and these power systems are significantly more efficient than anything else that's available in the market today.
Super. Thank you so much, Dinesh, for patiently answering all the questions and also sharing some very, very insightful inputs from your personal experience as well as your journey at NextGen. I just checked with Justin and we do not have any audience questions as of now. So thanks so much to our audience for listening in. And thank you, Dinesh, for your patience and for your insights. I wish you all a great week ahead. And thank you so much for now.
Thank you very much, Sindhu. And I really appreciate it. Thanks, Justin, and the rest of the NASSCOM team.
Thank you, Dinesh and Sindhu, for that engaging fireside chat.